Now this game's heating up.
Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. This is a super fun one that I've been looking forward to, and it is rating all the champion level up animations and sticking them on a tier list. I know you guys love tier lists, I love tier lists, and the level up animations are insanely clean. Honestly, it just makes sense to do this video. So here are the criteria for my tier list. Number 1, I will be organizing the champions in alphabetical order, and there won't be an order within each tier. For example, the first spot in S tier won't be better than the second spot, and so on. All animations are treated as equal within each tier. Number 2, the champions will earn their ranks based on my perspective, opinion, and overall enjoyment of the animation. This includes visual and audio aspects. Remember, this is a subjective tier list and there's no way to objectively rank these, so let's have some fun with it. Number 3, which is more of a side note than anything. I'm not including post-level up animations such as Leeson's kick, Yasuo's damage to stun targets, and things like that, except for Fiora's, since it's integral to her card. I'm only including the level up animation and the small animations that follow directly after that, when applicable. With that, let's get it. I'll start with TF because it's already my intro. You've all seen it, and it should be no surprise that I'm putting it in S tier. There are two main reasons for this. The first is that the animation is really smooth and fun to watch. The sounds go along with it perfectly and wraps it up nicely as my favorite level up animation. The second reason is hella bias. I've been a sucker for cardistry and card flourishes ever since I was a kid. I used to do casual card magic in high school, so I've definitely got a sweet spot for it. Now, we can start in alphabetical order. Olivia.
This is our time!
Olivia's is kinda cool. I like the wings coming out and like the ice and stuff. It's all there, but it just feels like it's lacking a bit of oomph. It just doesn't quite do it for me, so I'm gonna put her in C tier. Ashe.
My aim is true!
Ashe's level up animation is extremely clean. I love the way that the arrow slowly constructs itself and then shoots into your own deck because it's putting it at the top. And then like the whole animation with Ashe afterwards, just to top it all off, is so insane. I love how it feels. It has that final kick. It's got the oomph. It's gonna go in A tier. Brahms.
Look how we have grown!
They've updated Brahms actually, I think once or twice. The backdrop is really nice. I love the little mighty Poro that's like spinning his hammer above Braum and stuff. It's really good thematically. However, there's not a lot going on with the card itself. Like Braum isn't really doing too much aside from getting behind his shield. It's cool, but it doesn't quite do it for me, so I'm going to put it in B tier. You know, it's a banger. Darius.
Witness true strength.
Darius is an example of a champion animation that doesn't need to have a backdrop and a bunch of things going on in order to still be amazing. I absolutely love Darius's. It was the first one that I saw, and it no pun intended, hooked me on, you know, the game and how the artwork was way back when the beta started. So I got a little bit of a soft spot for it, and I think thematically it's really cool. I love how he drags the camera into him. It's like you're getting hooked in League. Everything just wraps up quite nicely to be considered a solid banger. If he had like a sweet backdrop and stuff, then he would obviously be in A tier, but he can hold his own against other cards that have better animations. Next we have Draven.
And I thought I was already perfect.
Draven's is pretty cool. I like how the crowd is cheering. He's got the original soundtrack of his login screen behind him. It sounds really nice. It looks pretty cool. I'm going to have to give it a solid banger. Elise.
Smooth as silk.
Elise is one of my favorite cards in the game as a Shadow Isles player. She did a lot for me playing in the beta, and I saw that they updated her level up animation and they made it quite a bit better actually. I love the creepy aspect to it. The cocoon is like a heartbeat, which is what she senses. It all makes sense thematically. It's really clean. It's short and to the point as well. I'm actually going to have to give this an A tier spot. Very similar to Ashe. I like them about the same. Very, very cool. Next we have Ezreal.
I'm so good, I surprised myself. Energy signatures of your arcaneological instrument indescribable.
Now this is going to be a bit of a bummer for a lot of people, but I don't like Ezreal's at all. He just throws up his hand and throws himself out of it, I guess. I don't know if he's trying to charge his ult. If he was, then you would see the bow coming off the gauntlet, but he's not really doing that. I don't understand, like, thematically what is going on. It's got the oomph at the end. I really like that he arcane shifts onto the board. So that's keeping it out of F tier. I don't know. I just don't quite like it. It could be a bit better. I just don't know what's going on with it. Fiora.
I have no equal.
So there are two parts to this, the original animation and the killing blow animation. The original animation, I love the backdrop, I think it's really sick. However, I think that the black silhouette in the background that's like doing some slicing, while thematically it makes sense that she's so fast that she's like a blur, like I get it, but it just looks lazy, right? I can't be the only one thinking that. It looks so lame and cheesy, and if it was just her like teleporting around and you saw her perfectly, sort of like how old Fiora was before the rework when she ulted, I think that would make for a lot better of an animation. If I was only going off of that one alone, I would put her an F. I actually just hate her level up animation. However, I am including the final hit because it is, like I said earlier, an integral part to her card, and that looks cool. I love the blade coming down with her face across it, sniping the enemy nexus, and the rose petals. I think that animation is so much cleaner than her level up that I'm going to have to put her in C tier overall, taking both into account. And I think that's fair. Alright, next we have Fizz. Fizz is really cute. I love Longtooth. I think thematically it makes a lot of sense. I love like everything that's going on. It's a pretty clean and easy transition. I'm going to have to give Fizz a solid banger for sure. Gangplank.
Your king has returned.
Gangplank is like the staple Bilgewater champion, right? If you think of the most piratey champion in League of Legends, is GP. Thematically, it's all there. It is so on point. I absolutely love Gangplanks, and the song is good going on behind him. It makes you really feel like for a split second you are on a pirate adventure whenever you level up GP. So because of the points that I just said, I'm going to have to give him an S tier. He is super clean. Moving right along, we got Garen.
We must not relent.
Honestly, even after a couple tune-ups to his animation, I think Garen's is really lame. Like, I get it. He's known for spinning. That's literally all he does in every cinematic. That's all he does in Legends Runeterra as well. And because of that, I'm going to put it in C tier. It could be better. The backdrop is kind of cool, I guess, but I wish there was a little bit more going on. Moving on to Hecarim. Hecarim's I wish I could put higher, but god, it is so boring. It's definitely a C tier. I don't know why his is so boring. You could have like, imagine a stampede of Ghost Troll Spectral Riders coming towards the screen, right? From like far away, running at you. I think that'd be a lot cooler, having like Hecarim lead the charge or something. But the way they did Hecarim's and the way that it still is just really boring to me. And it's a shame because Hecarim is probably my favorite champion card in the game, so big rip. Next we have Heimerdinger. Heimer's is a perfect representation of who he is as a champion. There's like some math going on in the background, some algebra, there's wrenches, there's shit just everywhere. and it's so over the top and colorful, it's perfect for Heimerdinger. The sounds are all there, it's very whimsical, and it all comes together so well for him. So I'm going to have to give him an A tier spot. I love Heimer's level up animation. Though I hate playing against him and I hate seeing it pulled off against me. That's for damn sure. Now we have Jinx.
I'm on a roll.
Okay, so thematically, Jinx's is really cool. I love the graffiti, I love the music, and I love that she sprays the button because that's kind of what she does, you know, she's a vandalizer. I love Jinx's. However, I think not giving her a cool backdrop and a better animation is just kind of lame. All in all, that puts her at C tier. Could be better. I wish there was a little bit more effort since she is a fan favorite champion and she has been the face of League before. I would assume that they would do more with her, but they just didn't, so that's what's putting her in the C tier spot. Kalista.
The wrong shall find their vengeance!
Much like Hecarim's, Kalista's is hella boring too. It just fades out and it's like, hello, there's Kalista's face, and that's kind of all there is to it. You see some spears and it's like, alright, you got me, Kalista. You throw spears, I get it. It's, I don't know, just kind of boring. C tier. Karma.
My spirit is an unquenchable fire.
So Karma's like the same thing, it's just really boring. It's just the enchantment when she presses R. Like, I get thematically where it's coming from League, but it's just, you know, the swirling dragons, they do a little dance, and there's Karma. There's not a lot going on, there's not a lot of story to tell, it's just kind of like, meh. So I'm gonna put her in C tier as well. Katarina.
No one gets in my way.
Katarina's is definitely one of my favorites, and it's because of the perspective change. Most of the time you're seeing the card when they do their level up animation, and you're seeing, like, from your perspective looking at them. But Katarina's, as far as I'm aware, is the only one that takes you into the mind of Katarina. It's what she is seeing while she's spinning and doing her ulti, and it's what she's feeling. Although it might make you a little dizzy at times to watch the animation, it is really, really cool. Especially at the very end, there's the oomph of the daggers flying out in all directions. I absolutely love how it comes together, and the perspective change and the way they did it has to put it in S tier. It is super clean, and I cannot imagine a perspective shift being incorporated better than how Katarina's was. Next we have Leeson.
I fight with the dragon's fury.
Leeson feels so empowering. I love how he puts on his bandana and tightens it, and then he just, you know, he's out there. That final, like, note or hit or whatever that sound effect is that Leeson does at the end of the level up animation is so freaking powerful. It makes you feel good to play him, so I'm going to have to put him in A tier. Very amazing. Alright, next we have Lucian.
You'll pay for this! We're gonna need more coffins.
So Lucian has two separate ones. I chose the Senna variant because it has a little bit of extra lore going on. It's got a little bit of a different animation in the beginning, so I chose that one because it's obviously better. I love how the gun, like, rips itself apart, and it's Senna and Lucian. It looks so good. And then, like, Lucian shoots out both guns. I don't know, it's very reminiscent of his champion loading screen, which I watched on repeat back when he came out in League. So it's definitely hitting a soft spot for me there. Regardless of the bias, honestly, it's just super clean. No one can argue with me on that. I absolutely think that Lucian's is one of the most cleanest and well-drawn, well-animated level up animations. Next we got Lux.
Pushing my limits.
Alright, so I'm going to go back to, like, the Olivia, the Hecarim, the Kalista, and Karma. Lux's is just kind of boring. She spins around, there's a pretty neat backdrop that gives some, like, insight to the lore, like, I get that. And the staff is spinning, but that's kind of all there is to it. There's not a lot going on, there's no, like, lasers in all directions, like Doombot's level of animation going on, so I don't know. Just gonna go to C tier. Could be better. Could have a little bit more effort put in. And next we have Malachi.
Grow tall, grow strong.
I absolutely adore Malachi's. The sapling has so much personality. It's so fun to watch. The tree roots and stuff, that's all cool, but I'm also including the animation where the sapling destroys the opponent's deck, because that is part of the level up animation. And because I'm including that, and because the roots and the sapling in the level up animation itself are really nice and fun to watch, I'm going to put it in A tier. Amazing. Absolutely love it. Misfortune.
Get rich.
All eyes on me.
Misfortune is a lot like Gangplank's, right? Where there is a lot going on and it's very thematically on point. Like, the way it's portraying itself is that you're going below deck after you raided Misfortune's ship, and all you see is just cannon fire below deck, and she's walking up to you slowly like, man, what are you doing on my ship? You better get out of here. And to you, she's just a ghostly apparition. It just, oh, it's so impactful. And I also love that her ship's name is the Siren, which is like, you know, a spooky tale in itself, and then she's ghostly. I mean, that kind of wraps it up pretty nice. So a lot like Gangplank, I'm going to put her in S tier because it just fits so well with Bilgewater. She is the second premier like pirate character, and they did her justice. Next we have Nautilus.
Blood and salt. Echoes from the deep.
So Nautilus is sort of like the others, where there's not a lot going on. There's just an anchor going in the water and pulling him up, but his has so much more feeling. It's got so much more power, and it's got so much more like presence of his character, you know? And because of that, he's not going to be in C tier. He's actually going to be a step up as a banger level up animation. Even though it's as simple as Lux or Ezreal's, you know, it's just one thing happening. For some reason, Nautilus's just feels like it was animated better, and it fits his character more, because he's being dragged from the bottom of the ocean, which is like part of his lore, so very cool. Moving on to Quinn.
Justice takes flight. Valor, to me.
Quinn's is hella clean. I love the perspective and camera change. When it looks up in the sky, you see Valor and it shoots arrows down. It's really, really cool. It reminds me of the first iteration of Quinn before she got reworked. Whenever you'd come back from Valor form, arrows would hit the ground around you in an AoE. So they captured that really well. And I think the backdrop is really clean. It's really vibrant. The audio is all there. It makes you feel like you're in the middle of combat. So because of that, I'm going to give Quinn an amazing. Next is Sejuani.
Only the strong survive.
Sedge's is the one I was most surprised about. When I first saw it on the YouTube spotlight revealing Sejuani, I was like, yo, that looks like it could come out of a movie, or it could come out of like a console game. I absolutely love how Sejuani's feels. You look up, you see bristles, Sejuani's marking it with blood, but like the way it's shown, it makes you feel like you are in the middle of the battle. You are leading the charge right behind Sejuani and Bristles, and you are ready to go fight whatever Sejuani's fighting. Because of all that, I'm going to have to give it an S tier. It is so clean. Next we have Shen.
The balance has been maintained.
Oh my god, Shen's is so boring. There's absolutely no oomph. I love the backdrop. I like the sword on his card. Like, he's got a lot going for him, but then he's just like, I'm going to do a hand motion, and then a hand motion, and then it's just done. So, because of that, it could be better. C tier animation. Next we have Swain. Alright, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but Swain is a lot like Gangplank in Misfortune, where he is the premier Noxian, right? He's the general, he's the strategician, and the way he's portrayed in the level up animation, it really captures Swain as a character. Even though it's only a couple seconds, it's so powerful. I love how he just grabs the Bastion with his bird hand, slams it down because it's the might of Noxus. You can feel the tension and you can feel the dominance and power within just a simple, like 3-second frame by frame animation. It's crazy how much feeling it has, and the music is good too. Also, watch the Swain reveal on YouTube and listen to like the song and watch his animation because it's like an extended version. It's so good. I watch it over and over and over whenever I remember it. So because of that, putting in S tier, no, without a doubt. Ah, Teemo.
That's gotta sting.
Teemo. You really had to do it to him, Riot. Teemo puts in his mushrooms, he walks around for a second, and that's it. It's just effing terrible. That is the worst animation. There's no backdrop. Teemo himself isn't even appearing. It's like a little outline of Teemo. It's so boring. It's so... oh my god. It's impossible to watch and enjoy. That's the only reason I don't play Teemo decks, man. Get him out of here. Or just rework his entire animation. Do something. Have him throw out shrooms in multiple directions. Give him a backdrop. I don't know. Maybe have the Chumpwumps and Puffcat Peddler in his background when he levels up. Do literally anything. Teemo needs some help. Alright. Next we have Thresh. Thresh's is really cool. It's gotten tuned up a couple times, much like a couple others. It used to be like a C tier before. I think now, with all of the movement and the new backdrop and stuff, it makes you feel like you're on Shadow Isles. I'm going to have to give it a solid banger. I actually really like Thresh's level up animation. It's really cool. Alright, now we have Trind. Trind's is hella boring. Like, he is the perfect example of what is going on. He's just screaming through the ice and he's not dead. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Could be better. Don't really know exactly what they're capturing. It's like, even if he's frozen solid, he's going to break through because he's just that mad. I guess that's what they're going for, but I just don't like it. Now we have Vi.
That's how we do it.
Vi's is really cool. There's a little bit of a story going on. She's Jinx's rival. She wants to capture her, so Jinx pisses her off. So when she sees the spray paint, she wants to break it down. Like, it's really nice. I think Vi's animation itself captures who she is. You know, she just wants to break stuff. She wants to punch down walls, and she wants to get to the criminal that she's trying to capture. On top of that, the music is good. I love Here Comes Vi. I used to listen to that all the time back when she came out, so going to have to give it an A tier spot. Amazing. Love it. Next we have Vlad.
I am Lord and Master.
Okay, so before reviewing all the animations again, I thought Teemo was going to be the only one in F tier, but I have to give it to Vlad. I cannot believe how hard they messed up Vladimir's animation. The backdrop is so cool, the candles are so nice, the atmosphere is laid out perfectly, and what does Vlad do? Turns into a pool of stinky blood and does nothing. He's just red all over the screen. It just ruins everything. The entire vibe gets thrown off, the entire feel and atmosphere gets thrown off, the music all of a sudden just starts to suck when you listen to it. It just... why? Why does he have to use his W? Make him do something else. Make him like wave his hands around and take blood from the air and like put it into his hand, you know, like, and make a ball out of it. He could be so cool, man. I love Vladimir. I love the vampire aesthetic. I love the backdrop that's going on. Why is he just a big red splotch on the screen? It's so lame, man. Alright, enough ranting. Let's get on to Yasuo.
Destiny waits.
I'm going to give Yasuo a C tier spot because his animation's just kind of boring as well. It was tuned up, so I get it's a little bit better. The backdrop is kind of nice. I really like the leaves and the wind like whooshing at the very end. It all comes together, but could still be a bit better. There's not a lot going on with the card himself, He's just kind of like there, slicing through the screen. And finally, we have Zedd.
Shadow. Embrace the shadows.
So Zedd was my previous YouTube intro before Twisted Fates, so you already know it's gotta go to S tier. It is so cool. I love the motion that you gain. You're like being drugged towards him, or you're going towards him at a really fast speed, and you see him coming out of the box, and he's just there. And he's like shadow form. I don't know. Zedd's really cool. No one's gonna argue with me on that. I just absolutely love it. And that about wraps it up for my tier list video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What animation am I completely sleeping on? What champion animation am I giving too much credit? Please like and subscribe if you thought this video was informative for some reason, or entertaining. It really helps me out since I'm still trying to grow. I also stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Check out my channel and other socials in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters.